In 2015, the world's best single malt came from Taiwan, not Scotland. A young distillery on a quiet island shook the old whiskey map. That bottle was Kavalan Solist Vinho Barrique. What Walkie pours now is a whiskey aged by heat more than by time. Taiwanese whiskey began when the law opened before the stills ran. For decades, alcohol in Taiwan sat behind the door of a state monopoly. In 2002, Taiwan entered the World Trade Organization, and that door opened to private alcohol production. Inside that opening, the old dream of King Car Group finally took the shape of a distillery. The name they chose was Kavalan. Kavalan reaches back to the old name of Yilan and to the indigenous Kavalan people of that land. So this name was not just an exotic sound on a bottle. It was a memory of place becoming the name of Taiwan's first whiskey. Kavalan Distillery opened in 2005. On March 11, 2006, the first new make spirit ran from the pot stills. A few years later, the first single malt reached drinkers, and people began to wonder, how could such a young whiskey taste this dark and mature? Kavalan's secret was not 20 years of age, but Taiwan heat. Yilan sits between mountains and sea, where hot summers and humid air keep pushing the casks. In Scotland, time walks slowly through cold warehouses, but here it starts to run. This bottle shows climate before it shows age. But heat alone does not make great whiskey. Kavalan also carried the advice of Dr. Swan and the blending sense of Chang. Wine casks were shaved, toasted, and recharred so spirit and wood could meet in a new way. Fast maturation was not magic, but climate and cask management creating a different kind of time. That is why the glass speaks through color first. Even after a short maturation, deep amber fruit vanilla and dried fruit rise from the glass. When people hear young whiskey, they expect something thin, but Kavalan pushes that idea away. The warehouses of Taiwan persuade the senses before the number on the label can speak. In 2015, the world's best single malt came from Taiwan, not Scotland. The World Whiskies Awards chose Kavalan Solist Vinho Barrique as the best single malt of that year. Among the old names of whiskey countries, a young Taiwanese bottle stepped into the center of the stage. From that moment, people saw Kavalan not as a curiosity, but as a competitor. That award was not just one trophy. It cracked the idea that serious whiskey must come only from old whiskey nations. Taiwan started to look like a whiskey-making country, not just a whiskey drinking market. One bottle made a small island shine again on the world whiskey map. Of course, fast maturation has a cost. In hot warehouses, the spirit meets the cask quickly, but more of it also disappears into the air. The team must keep watching the cask temperature and time, so the wood does not run too far ahead. Kavalan's speed is not an easy shortcut, but a sharp edge that needs constant care. That is why the name Kavalan matters again. Behind the name are the water mountains and Pacific wind of Yilan. The whiskey learned a Scottish language, but Taiwan air did the aging. Kavalan feels less like an imported dream, and more like a dream fermented again in its own land. Kavalan does not end as a boast about beating Scotland. It shows that whiskey time cannot be explained only by the number on a label. When law opens, a name finds land, and heat, humidity, and casks move together. A small island can redraw the map. The next time you see a glass of Kavalan,